Blueberries are sold as the miracle fruit for seniors. They're advertised as memory boosters, heart protectors, and anti-inflammatory powerhouses. But for adults over 60, the way you handle blueberries matters far more than the blueberries themselves. When eaten the wrong way, blueberries can lose over 80% of their protective antioxidants. They can spike your blood sugar, inflame your gut lining, and even accelerate the cognitive decline they're supposed to prevent. Research funded by the National Institute on Aging shows that mishandled blueberries shift from antioxidant-rich to antioxidant-empty, becoming nothing more than a sugary fruit with weakened nutritional value. Seniors are more sensitive to these changes because aging digestion slows, medication interactions compound, and the gut barrier thins with age. That combination makes every blueberry mistake more dangerous. The first mistake begins where most seniors think they're doing something healthy: blueberry yogurt cups. Packaged blueberry yogurts are marketed as high-calcium, high-protein, heart-friendly breakfast options. But most blueberry-flavored yogurt cups contain almost no real blueberries. Instead of delivering antioxidants, they deliver added sugar, modified starches, food dyes, and artificial blueberry flavor. A 2020 analysis from the Environmental Working Group found some brands containing less than 2% actual blueberry content. The rest was sweetened gelatin and flavored syrup. For seniors, that sugar load is not harmless. Insulin sensitivity declines with age, meaning older bodies have a harder time processing sugar. When you combine dairy, added fructose, and minimal fiber, you get a breakfast that spikes blood glucose rapidly. Those spikes contribute to central fat gain, muscle protein breakdown, and slower recovery after activity. Many older adults believe they're feeding their muscles and supporting their memory, yet they're starting their day with a metabolic shock that undermines both goals. The fix is straightforward: real blueberries, plain Greek yogurt, and no added sugar. That combination supplies antioxidants, probiotics, and protein in a form seniors can use. The yogurt cup shortcut cancels almost all of those benefits. The second mistake is one nearly everyone makes without realizing the consequences: washing blueberries too late. Blueberries consistently rank high on pesticide residue reports. Many of the chemicals used in conventional growing are designed to adhere to the berry's surface and withstand rain. Leaving blueberries unwashed for days allows those residues to sit on the skin, migrate inward, and accumulate. Seniors are more vulnerable to pesticide exposure because detoxification slows with age. The nervous system becomes more sensitive, and the blood-brain barrier becomes more permeable. When pesticides enter the bloodstream through repeated consumption of unwashed berries, they affect nerve signaling, balance, memory formation, and muscular coordination. These aren't hypothetical risks. The Environmental Working Group's 2024 ranking places blueberries among the most contaminated fruits on shelves today. For an adult with a younger, stronger liver, the cumulative exposure may be filtered effectively. For seniors, repeated small exposures can accumulate, leading to unexplained fatigue, declining grip strength, nighttime cramps, or rising inflammation markers. The solution is simple, but must be done immediately after purchase. Blueberries should be washed as soon as they come home, not days later, and not right before eating. A baking soda wash neutralizes many common pesticide residues more effectively than water alone. Allowing the berries to soak loosens surface residues and reduces the chemical load that would otherwise enter the digestive tract. After rinsing, the berries must be dried thoroughly and stored in a breathable container to avoid moisture accumulation. This single step protects antioxidants, reduces toxic burden, and stabilizes the nutritional value of the fruit. These first two mistakes share a common theme. They turn a nutrient-dense berry into a metabolic and neurological liability for older adults. Blueberry yogurt cups remove the nutrients and add sugar. Late washing preserves the nutrients but adds chemical stress. Both mistakes can be corrected with basic shifts that preserve blueberry potency and make them safer for the aging nervous system. The next blueberry mistake destroys the very compounds seniors need most: Blueberry skin contains the highest concentration of anthocyanins, the pigments responsible for the deep blue color and the majority of the berry's antioxidant activity. When the skin is removed, disrupted, or degraded through high heat processing, those anthocyanins disappear. Without the skin, a blueberry becomes a small ball of sugar with minimal protective value. Seniors who blend, peel, bake, or consume processed blueberry products lose the compounds responsible for improved retinal blood flow, reduced inflammation, and stronger cognitive resilience. Clinical evidence shows that whole blueberries with intact skin produce significantly greater improvements in visual function and memory scores than blueberry extracts or baked products. Age-related macular degeneration, cataract progression, and slowed night vision adaptation respond directly to anthocyanin intake. Without the skin, the berry cannot deliver these benefits. Cooking blueberries, especially in muffins, pastries, and high-sugar fillings, accelerates anthocyanin breakdown. High heat damages the skin's polyphenols and converts them into inactive forms. Seniors who rely on blueberry muffins or processed fruit blends for their daily blueberry intake are not receiving the neuroprotective compounds they believe they are consuming. The solution is non-negotiable. Blueberries must be eaten whole, raw, and skin intact. Frozen berries are acceptable if thawed gently and never exposed to microwaving or hot water, which degrade anthocyanins. For older adults concerned about eyesight, balance, memory, or circulation, eating blueberries without the skin eliminates the exact compounds that support those systems. The next mistake comes from assuming more fruit equals more benefit. For seniors, overeating blueberries in a single sitting disrupts digestion, elevates glucose levels, and destabilizes nighttime physiology. Even though blueberries have a moderate glycemic load, they still contain fructose, fiber, and organic acids that can overwhelm an aging digestive system when consumed rapidly or in excess. A study published in Nutrients found that adults over 60 experienced significantly larger glucose spikes when consuming more than 100 grams of blueberries at once, compared to those who consumed smaller, spaced-out servings. These spikes were often followed by sudden drops, causing fatigue, headaches, and sleep disruption. The digestive system slows with age. Gastric emptying becomes less efficient, and carbohydrate absorption becomes more erratic. Overloading the gut with a high-fiber, high-sugar fruit can lead to bloating, cramps, or irregular bowel movements. Seniors who eat a full bowl of blueberries at night often experience restless sleep due to late-night glucose swings. The problem is not the fruit, it is the dose. Blueberries work best in half-cup servings distributed across the day. When paired with protein or healthy fats, absorption improves and glucose fluctuations are minimized. Older adults seeking improved memory, steadier energy, and reduced digestive distress benefit most from controlled portions, not large single-meal intakes. The next mistake occurs long before the berries enter the digestive system. Buying conventionally grown blueberries. Conventionally farmed blueberries contain multiple pesticide residues, including compounds associated with impaired nerve conduction, endocrine disruption, and cognitive burden. Seniors have reduced hepatic and renal clearance, meaning they detoxify harmful chemicals more slowly than younger adults. Pesticides absorbed into the berry's flesh cannot be fully removed by rinsing. For older adults with weakened gut integrity or chronic inflammation, these residues can irritate the intestinal lining, elevate systemic inflammation, and disrupt neurotransmitter production. Blueberries consistently appear on annual rankings of pesticide-intensive crops. Unlike fruits with thick protective skins, blueberries absorb chemicals through their thin outer layer. These residues accumulate during storage and persist through transport. Elderly adults with pre-existing memory concerns, tremors, neuropathy, or sleep disturbances are especially vulnerable to pesticide-induced stress. Choosing organic berries removes the majority of these risks and preserves the berry's natural antioxidant profile. Seniors who rely on conventional berries for budget reasons can protect themselves by selecting local farm-grown berries or choosing frozen organic options when fresh organic is too costly. Frozen organic blueberries retain their antioxidant capacity well and provide a safer alternative to conventionally grown fruit. For older individuals, reducing pesticide exposure is not optional. It is an essential step for nerve protection, cognitive preservation, and stable daily function. These three mistakes, removing the skin, overeating in one sitting, and buying non-organic, remove protective compounds, destabilize digestion, and increase toxic load. Correcting them restores the functional benefits seniors expect from blueberries and supports the structural and neurological systems most vulnerable to aging. The most damaging blueberry mistake for seniors happens after purchase, not during eating. Improper storage destroys the antioxidant potency of blueberries, encourages mold development, and increases exposure to compounds that directly irritate the aging gut and inflame joints. Blueberries are one of the most fragile fruits in the produce aisle. Their thin skin, high moisture content, and lack of protective peel make them extremely vulnerable to microbial growth. When stored in sealed plastic containers or crowded in deep layers, moisture accumulates, oxygen flow decreases, and mold spores spread within hours. Research from the University of Georgia shows that poorly stored blueberries can lose a significant portion of their vitamin C and anthocyanins within 48 hours. For older adults relying on these compounds for cognitive support, vascular health, and reduced inflammation, this rapid degradation eliminates the very advantages blueberries are supposed to provide. Mold is an under-recognized threat. Even when mold is not visible, microscopic spores infiltrate the berry's surface and begin producing mycotoxins that irritate the gastrointestinal lining. Seniors are particularly susceptible because gut barrier integrity decreases with age, making the intestinal wall more permeable. Once these toxins penetrate the bloodstream, they can trigger fatigue, joint swelling, headaches, bloating, and worsening symptoms of existing digestive conditions. In individuals with arthritis or autoimmune disorders, mold exposure can intensify inflammatory cascades. Storing blueberries incorrectly accelerates this process. Many seniors store berries in airtight bags or in the same container they arrived in. This traps moisture and limits airflow, creating an ideal environment for spoilage. The correct storage method requires immediate inspection after purchase. Any soft, damaged, or leaking berries must be removed immediately because they accelerate microbial spread. The remaining berries should be placed in a shallow, breathable container lined with paper towels to absorb moisture. Spreading them in a single layer prevents pressure damage and allows air to circulate, slowing mold formation. The container should remain unsealed in the refrigerator, allowing humidity to escape and preserving freshness for up to 10 days. A common misconception is that blueberries should be washed before storage. This is incorrect. Pre-washing increases surface moisture and speeds up mold development. The washing process should occur only right before eating. Seniors who pre-wash and then refrigerate blueberries often experience faster spoilage, reduced nutrient density, and a higher likelihood of gut irritation from invisible mold. Proper storage protects the berry's structural integrity and preserves the anthocyanins that support brain, eye, and cardiovascular function. When these storage corrections are combined with the earlier fixes, avoiding processed yogurts, washing immediately upon purchase but drying thoroughly, eating the skin intact, moderating serving size, and choosing organic, the nutritional impact becomes significantly stronger. Blueberries consumed in their optimal state deliver measurable benefits for seniors. Studies show improvements in memory retention, executive function, blood pressure regulation, balance, and retinal health. These benefits depend on preserving the berry's antioxidant profile and minimizing exposure to contaminants. Blueberries function as a nutritional tool, not a magic fruit. Their effectiveness relies on the integrity of their antioxidants and the stability of their natural compounds. Mishandling them removes the very substances responsible for cellular protection. Seniors who correct these 6 mistakes, processed cups, delayed washing, skin removal, overeating, non-organic sourcing, and improper storage, can rely on blueberries as a consistent protective part of their diet. What you can do starting from today is simple. Keep blueberries whole, clean, fresh, and structurally intact. Handle them gently. Store them correctly. Eat them in controlled, spaced servings. Never pair them with added sugars. Seniors who follow these principles can expect stronger daily energy, steadier digestion, healthier joints, and improved cognitive performance. Not because blueberries are magical, but because they're finally being used in the way the body can benefit from most.